It's 8 o'clock, so, or 6 o'clock, so let's get this meeting started. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Public comments. Anyone want to comment?
I just want to know what's going on with the whole cat situation. I've sent multiple emails to Jen with pictures of all these cats in my backyard. They're peeing in my dog's pool, they're marking their territories in my garage, in my shed, if the door's left open. This is out of control.
Who did you send that letter to, or?
I sent all the pictures to Jen.
Oh, okay.
There's literally probably about 6 to 8 different cats coming through my property at any given time. And I'm not sitting up until 3 in the morning or 4, 5, 6 in the morning, or sitting in the backyard all day long to spray them with water. It's getting ridiculous. The apartment building has been feeding these cats for years.
Some of them are.
We already know that. They're continuing to feed them. 2 of them live in the apartment building with one of the tenants. What are we doing?
So we're here to find out.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that literally the next item after the minutes of the last meeting.
I'm just to this point where if it was a dog, it would have already been out of my yard. But because it's a cat, it's just has the right to roam. And these are actually people's pets. Some of them are. And it's not the same. So it can pee all over my house, mark their territories, smell my own property up, to the point where I'm removing items because the pee is so bad. But if this was a dog, it would be a different story. It's out of control. It's ridiculous. We are going on over a year of dealing with this. Because this started with Kelvin.
How many cats do you have?
I have 2 in my house, and they stay inside.
Do you think it's a terrible thing to say, but if you didn't have cats, do you think you'd have that problem,
Yes,
that the cats would still roam?
yes, I do.
Okay, don't take offense to that
No,
question.
and the reason why I say yes is because simple fact is, the apartment building in the garages that back up to my property from that apartment building, they're feeding these cats. So my property is basically another just playland area, it seems like.
Okay, hopefully we got an answer to the question. What can we do? Okay. When we get to that section,
Okay.
we'll let you speak up again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to the approval of the meeting minutes from July 14th. I'll motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All right, next up is the new business nuisance animal regulations. Did we get anything from the attorney regarding that? All right, so I emailed him, I want to say last Thursday, and got a response back saying he'll look into it, but I haven't received anything beyond that, so I don't have anything from the attorney either. I did look at other municipalities, in particular Waterman. They have a blanket ban on cats roaming. They don't, and it's the same with dogs. I know other municipalities have it. I don't remember which ones I looked at, but.
What did you say Waterman did? What did Waterman do?
Waterman just says you can't have cats roaming at large.
Do they find people, or what do they do?
Probably, I don't think it's really enforced that much, because I'm sure there are cats that roam, but there probably is a fine if they wanted to enforce it.
Could we get a copy of whatever they have?
Yeah, we could, do that for next meeting.
Okay.
I'll get a note of that.
And I'm kinda lost of what we can do and what we can't do.
Yeah, I'd also like to wait and see what the attorney suggests, because I don't really know exactly what we should do.
Yeah. Well, let's get a copy of Waterman's too.
Alright, again, currently I'm still leaning towards having, or changing our current ordinance to include any animal, like any pet. I don't care if it's a cat, a dog, a chicken, you shouldn't allow your animals to roam on other people's properties if it's causing a nuisance. I don't necessarily think we need a blanket ban like Waterman does, but I'd like to see what the attorney thinks about whether we can do a blanket ban or just have like certain cats that are a problem be restricted.
Okay. It seems, feel her frustration of, this is taking a long, long time. So the sooner we can get it done, I think the better.
Yeah, I agree.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So how does something get enforced? We don't have a police department. How do you prove who owns the cat in order to fine them or do anything? Because most cats that are wandering around, I'm guessing, especially based on the pictures and the videos Nicole's been forwarding, they don't have collars on.
None of Michelle's cats have collars. The black cat with the orange spot on his head or face area is Michelle's. And she lives in the apartment building. And then also the orange cat with the white little paws is also Michelle's. And I've confirmed that and seen these animals come out of where she's living. So I can confirm those two. I can't confirm the other ones that are coming in. One looks like a kitten, so it's possibly living in the garage area behind the house. That's where most of them are coming from. I don't know if we can,
Ask a question. Nicole, you said that you were gonna have other neighbors come and let us know they're having a problem?
I've contacted them. Laura down the street, the one that lives next to Jeffco, she's the neighbor that the cat actually entered into her window and went into her house. She was supposed to call, but I do know her father is ill, so I don't know if she's had time. Jan is another one that is on the opposite side of me. She's also had issues because they're going into her barn. They're defecating in her barn. They're sitting in her windowsills. They're sitting in the backyard. She also has a dog. This is a constant problem. One, I think what we need to do is the apartment building needs to stop feeding these cats. We've had this issue with the cat motel behind the house before, and that has been since removed with the old mayor. And now they've moved the food into the garage area, and they keep the garage doors open. So they have free range. They have food, they have water, they have a place to go to the bathroom at my house. I don't know if we can contact the person that owns the apartments and let them know that this needs to stop. I don't know. But something needs to change.
Did you contact your neighbors that have a problem and ask them to come to the meeting or send us?
I've asked them to call you guys. That's up to them if they're going to or not.
I have received no calls.
And I had talked to Jen when I dropped off my water payment, and she had said the same. I can't force anybody to call, I can't force anybody to come forward. I'm dealing with my issue, and I've given you evidence of all the cats that have come into my back property, and my whole yard is fenced in. So, they're jumping over the fence, and I have physically seen the black cat with the orange spot literally jump from the ground up to the fence and over and back over by the apartments. He does it all the time. I can't speak for other neighbors, and I can't force them to come in here. Nor can I force anybody to call. I'm here on my own accord because it's a problem. And the evidence speaks volumes.
We gotta wait and find out what we can do and what we can't do by the lawyer.
But that's what you guys said the last meeting. No one can follow up, leave a phone message and then follow up later in 2 weeks?
That's the first thing I asked.
That's what, you don't want us to get frustrated, but you're putting residents in this position to get frustrated. This has been over a year that I have been dealing with this. Multiple vet visits at $250, $275 and more. And nothing can be done, but if this was a dog,
Well, sure,
it
yeah,
would have been already gone.
yeah. Okay, I'll promise you that I'll get on the lawyer about an answer. We need
Should've
an
been done
answer.
already.
We don't need research, we need an answer.
That's what I thought this,
But you'll have me, at the next meeting, I will question him, the lawyer.
it's just getting ridiculous. It's more time.
Well, that's all we can do. That's all we can
It's
do.
more time, let's hurry up and wait. That's what this town is about.
Unfortunately, right now, you're right. But we're trying to change things.
It hasn't changed, and you guys have been on the board for quite some time.
No. Not that long. Less than 2 years.
2 years? I hope to God it doesn't take 2 years to fix a problem.
Oh, it could.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's the way the world is.
No.
Josh, how would you suggest if we were to put this in our ordinance about cats, how would we enforce the ordinance?
I don't really know, we'd have to talk to the attorney, I suppose.
I didn't talk-
Could we send a letter to the residents saying, if any of these cats are yours, you need to control them, if not, I don't know, can DeKalb County Animal Control remove them, since they're strays?
No.
My understanding is the county won't do anything with dogs.
I've already been that route.
Even, what was that? They won't do anything for that.
With dogs.
And I was told by the sheriff that if we put cats in our ordinance, that they wouldn't do anything about the cats until we make a contract with an adjudicator so they could have the process adjudicated to enforce our ordinance. And then that's the cost we have to bear, is the adjudication. That's if we put it in our ordinance and expect them to enforce it. That's the only problem I would have with adding it to our ordinance. How are we gonna enforce it?
ideally you would use letters and you would use voluntary compliance, but we all know that doesn't always happen.
And to me, it's hard to say whose cat is whose. How do we know whose cat is whose?
Well, you have to capture it and then have the owner come get it.
I did speak to a lady from DeKalb that will come down and capture the cats, remove them, take them to DeKalb and spay or neuter them, whichever they need, and check their health to make sure they're healthy enough to be on their own. And then after she does that, she brings them back to the exact spot where she caught the cat and let it go. So
That's just spinning the circle.
Exactly.
It may stop the process of more cats.
Multiplying,
But that's also with county animal control. Thought I should contact this lady. I understand that it'll slow the cats down, but quite honestly, I've driven by Nicole's house numerous times, and from the road, I don't see any cats.
They're all in my backyard.
And this last night when I drove by there, I did see a raccoon coming out of her yard. So there's that animal too, or multiple animals.
From my understanding, we can't really do anything about strays and or wild animals. But maybe we'll see what the attorney thinks.
you need to see get the paper what Waterman does, or how they word it, what they do.
It's very similar to ours when it comes to dogs. It just says something like dogs and cats are not allowed to roam at large, or whatever the wording is.
Can you find their ordinance?
I mean, I can, if I had mentioned it, I could pull up the ordinance. It's gonna be really slow.
No person owning, possessing, keeping, or harboring any dog or cat within the village of Waterman shall knowingly or negligently permit the dog or cat to run at large within the village. Dogs at all times should be kept on a leash no longer than 6 feet and must be in the presence of a person capable of controlling the dog, except when confined within or on the premises of the owner or possessor.
So as it reads line, it goes right back to just the
Any dog or cat found running at large in violation of this subsection may be impounded and declared to be a stray and may be disposed of by the village or any officer thereof by delivery to some proper person able and willing to provide proper care and keep therefore. The owner of any dog or cat impounded shall be liable to the village for the cost of care and the impound fee and shall pay the full cost to the village. But I'm guessing if the police department in Waterman sees a cat roaming around, they can catch it.
That's it, I mean, Waterman's got a police department.
Is there anything in there, is what the fine is for letting a cat run at large?
Any person violating provisions shall be fined not less than $75, nor more than $500.
And I would think when they catch the dog or cat, they have to impound it for a certain amount of time.
Or find somewhere to take it to impound it. They also limit the number of dogs and cats to be lawfully owned to 2 each. An interesting note, that is also the, according to the documents for the Martinson subdivision on West Preserve, those houses are also only allowed to have a maximum of 2 dogs and or 2 cats, 4 animals total.
How many cats total do you think it is?
There's about 6 or 8. I mean, I've given Jen multiple pictures of these. I have,
Yeah, I have the pictures here if you want.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
I have a calico.
Here's the thing, I mean, if you can get that lady to catch him. There's a lady over in Hinckley that's part of a rescue. So, if this lady catches them, checks them over, what have you, then see if she'll turn them over to this other lady instead of putting them back where they were.
She told me that that's what she does, is she'll catch them and she'll bring them back to the exact spot where she picks
There's
them
no
up.
way we can divert them
I
to another
don't, I
place?
didn't ask her for that, she said that's what she does. Maybe she would change that, I don't know, I didn't ask her that, it sounded like she was pretty set in her ways.
Cat and Critters Foundation
Yeah, the one
is
over in
a
Hinckley.
in-home foster-based 501c3
Tara.
animal rescue.
Tara Stubblefield.
Yep.
Yeah, she rescues, I mean, some of the stories she's told my wife about what she's gotten into, but if we could catch these cats, then this lady checks their health or whatever, and then instead of turning them back loose here, see if we could get this Tara Stubblefield to take them and see if she can rehome them. I mean, she's walked into houses and taken possession of 25 cats before. And by some miracle, she's been able to rehome some of them. So,
My only concern with that would be is if we accidentally trap someone's pet or kind of stealing it.
well, that person needs to watch their animal. I watch mine every day.
How many of these cats don't belong to somebody?
Well, I know 2 does. The rest, between 4 or 6 other cats, I don't know.
It could be homeless or whatever.
Correct, they could be. But here's the problem. When you feed a cat continuously, it's going to go back to that same area where it knows it's gonna get food, which is the garage that butts up to my property that they keep on feeding at that apartment.
We're gonna get a lawyer's opinion and go with it.
But I know Michelle has the 2, so she is responsible for her 2. She
Are they spayed and neutered or what have you? Are they?
I have no idea, but both of them have.
Because I mean, if we try to get rid of one problem, if her cats are still part of the problem, then we're just gonna go right back to where we were.
Correct. I don't know, all I know is her cats are peeing all over my property. On my siding that's wood, I was just over by the windows, it stinks. My siding smells. It's horrible. I can't even put anything to drown it out. So then what the problem becomes is now I have the stray cats coming And they're now also marking that same area. So now I tried to put a salt bag in front of it from the winter time. I've tried to put shovels in front of it, so they stop. I've put cayenne pepper down. I've done everything I possibly can. But because I have two cats that are owned by a person that continue to come on my deck, which is on a second level, underneath my deck where their basement window is, to piss my cats off. I mean, what I'm more frustrated is I'm taking one cat to the vet every other month and spending $275 or more on vet bills because I have a neighbor's cat coming into my property and upsetting and stressing my cat out so bad that it's getting UTI infections. I never thought this was a thing, but my vet has confirmed it.
Cass, do you think we need to reach out to other neighbors there to see if they have the problem?
I mean,
I would wonder why that your house is the only place that's having the cat problem.
I mean, maybe the other cats are going on to other people's properties, but they're just not complaining as much. I don't think we necessarily need more evidence. It's more a matter of we should protect the private property of the people in the village, whether they complain or not.
I also think it's because of the garage that I'm behind is the reason I have most of the issues. My property backs right up that whole entire garage system. And the stall that is closest to Jan and my property is where the food is. So all the way to the left-hand side, if you're in my backyard, it's closest to Jan's, but that stall right there is the one that's feeding the cats. And the raccoon lives in the storm drain in front of my house.
So maybe we should talk to the attorney again, but maybe we should have it where even if the cat doesn't have an owner, whoever's feeding it publicly could become fined potentially. Might also solve the stray issue. But we would have to see if that's even something we can do, because I have no idea.
So do we need to make a motion to see what the attorney says then?
No, I think we should just move on unless anyone has anything else to add. Other than, I'm sorry, but we don't have any answers tonight.
I kind of knew that walking in here, I was hoping for a different outcome. It's been over a year
Yeah,
and nothing's been done. And I've paid almost close to $2,000 in vet bills already. That's what's aggravating the most. I'm paying to keep my son's cat alive. But I'm also having him on meds, if not every month, every other month.
yeah.
It's not appropriate, guys. Like I said, if this was a dog, 24 hours, this would have been a done deal.
Yeah, and a large part of that is because we could lean on the county animal.
Correct.
So,
But here's the thing, is there's not enough organizations that deal with cats.
Yeah,
So now we have an influx, and there's nowhere we can turn to. And within over a year, nobody's figured out anything
mhm,
at all. Like, I don't get this. I really don't.
yeah.
I don't understand why it takes over a year for this to be taken care of. On top of 30 days, and no one could call the attorney going, hey, I sent you an email, what's going on?
Yeah.
I thought that's what you guys were here for, the residents. But,
Well, we had a change in lawyers, so that will slow us down a little bit, but you're 100% right. I'm very frustrated that the lawyer's not here. I wasn't here at the last meeting. I don't know, I agree with you 100%. You know, this is dragged on way too long. It's a simple yes or no. You know, can we do anything? Or no, we can't do anything. And you people would just have to learn to live with it, or take the means in their own hands, you know. Didn't the stray cat disappear suddenly? You know. So, I think we've gone the circle enough and not getting anywhere.
Well,
So I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, I think we're gonna move on. So next up is the commercial use of public right-of-ways. I did not end up talking to the cafe yet. I still think it's a good idea to have on the books, just in case anyone in the future does want to do this. But did anyone else have any more thoughts on that ordinance?
Can I comment on it?
Sure.
I think this ordinance is fantastic. I want to see a mechanism to permit outdoor dining in Chavana. If you go through a lot of downtown areas, you start to notice which downtown areas feel inviting and like a place you want to be, and which downtown areas don't. And outdoor dining improves the vibes of downtown tremendous amount. Right now, you drive through downtown Chavana, and it kind of looks dead, and we're making dents in that. But I think having people dining outdoors would be like a huge plus.
Where would you have that?
Well, I think there's a lot of places that you could have it. Like if the cafe wanted to do it, I would say they'd probably have to build a dining shed to make it comfortable. But that's covered in the ordinance. But there's a lot of places, like St. Charles, for example, is right on the highway, but they have outdoor dining. Because the restaurants, they just build dining sheds. And it gets a lot of use, it brings in a lot of people. And
Yeah, I agree with you, but I just don't know where you put it. Without knocking down an existing building, doing it there.
well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, but I do think that we should have a mechanism to permit it. And
Why
making
permit something we know we can't do?
well, doing it practically speaking that's not the village's problem. I think the village's problem is making sure that it is possible to do these things, so that to the extent that it is practical, it does happen.
You know, but if somebody came to the board, then we would work on it. Your hypothetical doesn't, right now is impossible.
I don't see why it's impossible to pass an ordinance to permit outdoor dining, even if there's no one right now in the room asking to have outdoor dining.
Well, I'm saying right now it's impossible.
I
Why vote on something that's impossible?
I disagree that it's impossible. I think if you're going to put outdoor dining on Route 30, most likely you're going to want a dining shed, but that's covered in the ordinance.
Yeah. Well, Good luck.
Josh, can you explain to me what a dining shed is? What's that?
It's just a temporary structure that you build to shield people from the road. So it gives people a little bit of a barrier so that if there's cars going by, it's still comfortable to like sit down and eat at a table.
So they're actually eating inside the shed?
No, it's not like a full thing with like a roof and everything. It's more like it's a wall that separates you from the road.
I think, if I may, what Danny's getting into is maybe, why can't we just deal with it as a case-by-case scenario? Somebody wants to
Well,
have outdoor dining,
here's a potential scenario. I run a restaurant, I want to come into Shabana, but they don't have outdoor dining, but Waterman does. So that changes my dynamic on where I want to invest my money. So I think that we ought to have something on the books that says, if you follow these regulations and you get the license, then you can do this. If it's on a case-by-case basis, then that puts a lot of friction in between investors and putting money into downtown.
Well, now it becomes a whole different issue because,
Well, now it's an
We-
issue if you have to come and ask permission.
yeah,
every
we,
time.
we have a person or more person with other persons, I suppose. But when you look at this and do it, that puts a different perspective on it, rather than it's just a hypothetical thing, with nobody really interested in doing it.
I think one of the reasons that no one is interested in doing it is the Village of Shabana hasn't signaled an interest to work with those people.
As a what?
They haven't signaled an interest to work with those people.
Don't they need to come to a meeting and express that they want it? Like, I look at it this way, if the cafe wanted to put outdoor dining, then the guy from the cafe needs to come sit here and then propose that to us. And then we take it from there. Just to sit there and write something and say, oh, you can have outdoor dining, let the business come to us and say, hey, I wanna have some outdoor dining, and then we talk about it,
Right,
and
yeah,
then go from there.
yeah, we're not doing that.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, I'm not opposed to it at all, but I feel the people of the business need to come talk to us,
Mhm.
and then we go from there.
If that's the attitude, you're just not gonna get any businesses invested into the Java.
I mean,
think
the
that is the fundamental
owner of the
problem.
cafe, I mean, if he came here and said, I wanna put some chairs and tables outside, then, you know, we talk about
Right,
it.
you got no place to put it, you got a building on each side,
I know,
and a railroad on the other.
What is the harm in allowing this to, in principle, happen? There's no harm in allowing it in principle to happen, but there is harm being done when the default for the village is to make everything illegal. And if you
never
want to
said
do
it was
anything,
illegal, you
Is
just gotta come
it
talk to
illegal
us.
now?
Yes.
yes.
It is. By ordinance, it's illegal?
No, by default, you can't use public rights of way. So this would be the village giving people an avenue to use public rights of way as long as they file for the license and get the permit and follow the regulations.
And the question I've got for you, because you, I guess, are gonna be a restaurateur in Waterloo,
That's correct.
do they have this?
I don't know.
No, but you're investing your money over there, and you don't know, but you just told us somebody wouldn't invest money here because we don't have it.
Well, I don't have.
That's
I don't have
both
a
sides of it.
I don't have a location where that's relevant to me, but in Shabana I do. So,
Do you have a restaurant in Shabbat, or do you have plans for one?
I have properties where a restaurant could go, and if I wanted to put a restaurant in, whether or not outdoor dining was legal would be a factor. And whether or not I have to come to the village and ask for permission to do it is a factor. It's a big negative when you have to come to the village and ask for permission to do every little thing. So I'm just saying, make it a little bit easier on people.
What do you want us to do?
I want you to pass this ordinance.
And
Did
what-
anybody check with IDOT, cause they have a minimum downtown sidewalk width,
Width.
which is like 5 or 6 feet?
I believe it was, I looked it up and it was 48 inches, I believe, but it is in the ordinance.
Yeah, that is in the ordinance, there's a minimum pay incident.
Where did this ordinance come from?
Because according to the plans we have for the downtown, it was a minimum of 5 feet was required by IDOT from building forwards.
Who has this ordinance? That you're
Josh
proposing?
proposed the ordinance.
A lot of villages and cities in the area have similar ordinances, and it was modeled off of
Could you tell me which villages and cities have the ordinance?
them. I could not tell you off the top of my head.
Can we research that? I don't have any problem with it, I don't know.
Off the top of my head, I know Wheaton, St. Charles, Naperville,
Almost all of them have outdoor
pretty
dining.
much every in the,
Yeah, but I think they've got a hell of a lot more area in front of their buildings compared to what we have.
And they're not on a highway.
most of them are on highways actually.
Yeah, but there's a lot of distance. I mean, it's probably from the front of the building to Harvard, there's a bunch, yeah.
I don't understand the resistance. What is the harm?
It ain't no resistance, it's just, I look at it this way, if the business, let's say the cafe owner wants to do that, then he needs to come to us and talk to about it. But you throw a couple tables and chairs in the middle of the sidewalk, I mean, it's gonna be a lot tough for people to walk through.
That's why we have a minimum 48-inch clearance.
All of that is.
Okay, that's fine,
addressed
but
in
you put a
ordinance.
table up against there that could be 30 inches around.
Then they can't do it because it's less than 48 inches.
Well,
That is
Our
a
sidewalks
valid
ain't wide
concern.
enough.
That is addressed in the ordinance.
And Josh, is this ordinance only for outdoor dining?
It
Or is the use
includes-
of public ways for,
Pretty much any
Or is
commercial
it-
purposes.
we turned into Maxwell Street?
What street?
Well, that's, I'm old, Josh. I remember Maxwell Street in Chicago.
I don't know, what is Maxwell
It's in
Street?
Chicago.
Junk on the street selling, it's a constant garage sale on the street.
Was it permitted in Chicago or was it
I
like
have no idea in Chicago. I'm just saying,
here's my mixtape.
if we had this ordinance, it allows for what besides outdoor dining?
It allows tables, chairs, dining sheds, retail displays, and other objects in the public right of way for dining or retail purposes.
So
it's-
we could,
It's only in front of a business that you
Yeah.
own.
So like some random person couldn't just set up a shack on the side of the street.
and it says that in the ordinance, I mean,
Yes, it does.
And we have an ordinance that states any sidewalk sales have to be approved by the village board.
I just don't see the space down there.
Well, even if there isn't enough space, then the person can't do it. But
Yeah,
whether we have the ordinance or not on the books doesn't change that. There are areas, like in front of the cafe, where this would be a very good place to do it, in my opinion. There might be other areas where they could put it on the brick.
There's no
areas.
space in front of the cafe. Put tables and chairs.
There's a
You
lot of
have,
space.
you have multiple handicap
Oh,
personnel going in and out of that cafe. On top of the fact that you have a train whistle that comes through every 10 minutes. On top of, you have semis that barrel down 30 constantly. As a resident, I'm sorry, I wouldn't sit out there.
And you don't have
For
to.
the safety of myself or the families. And what legal ramification if an accident were to happen and a car was to go up and hit somebody that's sitting on those, what legal ramifications does the town have?
Well, the business owner is required to have a $1 million insurance policy at a minimum. And whether or not you would like to dine outdoors or
do we
not,
have this ordinance?
if someone does, why are we telling them that they can't?
I agree.
I just don't see that there would be enough room where you're saying for the cat. I don't see it.
All right, well, if there isn't enough room, then they just can't do it. But if there is, why don't we allow it to happen if they wanted to?
But they'll let the restaurant come to us,
Why?
because it's a change. And
Well,
also,
You did have, Steve was wanting to ask a question.
Yes,
I don't know if you saw it or not.
Well, don't you already have stuff sitting out in front of your business down there?
I do, yes.
So why do you need an ordinance to do it? You're already doing it.
I would prefer to have an ordinance to allow it legally,
So you're doing it illegally.
potentially, yes.
So I'm thinking this ordinance is gonna benefit
Oh my lord.
two other people here right now.
It should never be the position of the village that everything should be by default illegal unless we allow it. That's why we're not getting investment into the village. And if, I mean, you think Josh is doing this to benefit himself?
Kinda
That's
sounds that way.
insane. Josh has poured tons and tons of money into downtown Shabana with no expectation of profit whatsoever. Tons and tons of money. I mean, what have you done?
I'm not gonna sit here and
All
argue.
right,
That'd be under my
guys,
whole
it's
life.
okay.
Let's
I
not
think we
argue
should move
amongst.
on.
I just think that's disgusting.
It's the truth.
No, it's not
You
the
and
truth.
him. That, the only reason you're on the village board is to benefit yourselves.
And I back up.
That is nonsense.
Yeah.
Let's not argue amongst each other.
I think we should, actually.
All right, let's move on
I
now.
think that's a question.
So next up is a hotel slash motel tax.
Could I stop you just? So you're gonna you'll bring this ordinance to the entire board?
I
Is
can.
that what the committee wants to bring this ordinance to the board for?
I mean, do we have more questions about it? Because honestly, I don't know if it's ready for the whole board yet or not.
I don't think we got majority that's gonna vote for it. In the committee. I'm not. I don't think you're not. Well, it's 2-1, then it's done. Let's go on with something else.
Yeah, the village is very anti-business, so let's just move on. Hotel motel tax. So, last board meeting, someone presented this sheet with a bunch of tax rates. I went over it and I couldn't find a tax rate for DeKalb County. I also couldn't find one for LaSalle County. So by default, those should be 0% unless anyone had evidence of otherwise.
Did you provide this sheet?
Yes. I also, the other two that I noticed were different was North Utica is a 5%, but it was listed at 7.5% on the sheet. And Genoa has no tax. So then if we're gonna be comparing against other municipalities in the area, I looked at all the ones I can think of. And I got the average is 1.7 or 1.65% and a median of 0%. The question would be, what percentage do we want to go with, I suppose? Personally, I think a 1% is very reasonable. It's the same as our sales tax. And I don't think that's
is that what we charge other businesses is 1%? Like the cafe?
Yeah, if you go to the cafe, go to my
Casey's,
shop, go to
Cases of-
Casey's,
Yeah, no problem with that.
everything's all 1%.
That's fine. I have no problem.
Nobody's paying higher than 1%, no business.
No.
Like Casey's and BP?
Yeah, so the village's portion of sales tax is 1%. And that's for the cafe, that's for BP,
BP,
Casey's,
Casey's.
my shop, post
Gotcha.
office.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll go with 1% too.
1%'s fine.
Can I ask a question? Does the state have a tax on hotels and motels?
Yeah, theirs is 6%.
There's
The
a
state is.
6%.
6%.
So this would be on top of the state sales tax.
6.5.
Is it 6.5?
What's that?
It's 6.5.
I didn't actually look it up, but on this sheet it was 6.
And the question I have in my mind, how much money would the village generate with this 1% tax?
I don't know, but we'll see.
How much money would the village generate today with the 1% tax?
I have
What's
no
the-
information.
Do you
on
have
that.
any idea what the, I think you would have an idea what the daily tax would bring in?
It's a substantial amount, and it would be even more substantial if the village allowed other hotels to operate.
Is there another hotel that wants to, yes, there is. Okay.
Yes, there is.
What, today, my question is, 1% would be how much today, one day today?
I don't think that really matters, so I think we're gonna move
Hell, it
on.
doesn't matter.
Why does it matter?
If we're gonna put a tax in, we ought to know what it's gonna bring us, or we just leave it alone. We don't have a tax.
I'm fine with going with zero tax too then. But if the board wants a tax, which it sounds like they do, we need to come up with a tax percentage.
I believe this board took a tax off the,
We did, yeah, because it was an absurd 7.5%. I have absolutely no problem imposing a reasonable tax, and I think 1% is reasonable.
Well, I think it's cheap, but I want to see, Chavin Advisory starting to grow.
I agree. Which is why we need more
We've
tourism.
been going downhill for 30 years, and it's time to turn the arrow up.
Yeah, we need more tourism, we need more visitors, we need more businesses as well. And that goes along with the number of customers we can attract.
1% to me is really irrelevant. I went to a motel and the guy said, oh, we had got a 1% tax on it. No problem. It's a lot better than a 10% or 20% or,
Yeah.
25%.
Well, if I had,
But it's for growth.
yeah,
5 years from now, hopefully, we can raise that to 5, 6, 10%. Because there's, good business doing it.
essentially, if we get large enough where we can demand that, I suppose that is an option. But also, as we just get more businesses in town, that number will grow even without a higher percentage.
Yeah. But I want the understanding that this 1% is not gonna last 20 years.
Well, over 20 years, inflation will drive up the prices probably, so it'll become, instead of a penny now per dollar, it'll be,
Yeah, what I'm
Okay,
saying,
for
don't
$2.
expect a 1% 5 years from now. It's not, to me, to be a permanent thing.
alright, well,
So I'll make a motion, 1%.
do we wanna go with 1% then?
Yep.
I'll second.
Alright. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Alright, so I'll compile a ordinance for the next meeting that we can look at, and I'll incorporate the 1%. And unless we have anything else to talk about, I think we're ready to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.